Alrighty, and we're back at it, like I said. So we're going to get into a game here. What's coming up? Took a brief peek over in the teaser for Indy's latest, femboy clown thing. It's like, well, and frankly, I've always been kind of creeped out by clowns anyway, so I'm never really drawn to that. But it's another thing of like the plastic dick and doing a foot job on a dildo. I know for a fact she doesn't like doing those. Okay, she's stupid. So my recommendation: skip it. If I'm offered a link to download, I don't think I'll even bother. Oh, and apparently, it's like something that Ariel Scarcella pointed out. That the detransition thing is really growing. In fact, it's like it's now considered something of the majority now. Okay. It's no longer, it's only very few. No, now it's like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they start to really regret what they did and try to undo it. So like, Indy, you're good at jumping on trends. I think you might want to think on jumping on this one. Your endocrinologist will thank you. And I'm sure your folks would like to have their daughter back. Might make wedding planning a little better, assuming your weirdo and fiance likes the idea of being engaged to a girl. Oh, and apparently Planned Parenthood said they may have to close 500 locations, because they have been defunded. Federal funds no longer go into them. So, but normally I whine about turning it's another Walgreens. In this case, I welcome our new Walgreens locations. Let me get back over to there's a little Cornish pasty place on Tennyson, a little bit south of 44th. And there's a Planned Parenthood thing right near. I would be glad to go by there and see it turned into a bookstore or something. Or a cat rescue or something actually productive. I wonder which one would be more on the chopping block. There's little hole in the wall places like that, or the bigger clinic. There's one up on about 80th and Wadsworth. It's in a strip mall area, not far from Black and Red. I think bookstore. If that because the bigger places will be more expensive upkeep, but the small locations might not be bringing some. I don't know, or maybe both of them could be on the chopping block. Who knows? Happy days. No more killing babies. At least not on the federal dime. And again, as pro-life as I am, I do recognize there are weird circumstances where it's like that's the better option. But it's never a matter of convenience. It's like because like El Palmer, she had a couple, and her situation. It's like I understand that. You were not in a position to raise a baby, but she lives with the regret with it. She knows what she did. But that was just, it's not a matter of something to be celebrated. I've had so many boys while this like, fuck you, Lily Allen, okay? You just reveal yourself to be a fucking psychopath. No, you recognize what you were doing when you go through that. You are killing your child. That's one thing I'll give points to Bill Maher. He acknowledges, yeah, it is murder, but it's an acceptable murder, and that's in his mind. Let's think. Acknowledge the simple fact: you are killing a human life. Okay, viability is irrelevant. I think you are ending a life, but it's a sucky life. It's a sucky world, and sometimes that's the better thing. Like but notice how the used to be the thing make it safe, legal, and rare. Then it went to bragging about how many, like, and when you can actually pull it up and you can, you've killed more babies in the Jonestown massacre. Okay, that's not good. Okay, they're gonna, these quotes are gonna come back and say, "You monster." Okay? And you know what a dickhead, Sinead's ex was. You guys went to go to the clinic. You're that eager to kill your child. It is good that he is the ex. So, turned out to be a bastard in the end. Okay. Oh yeah, we did all the normal 14 days. Did all of them. All right, let's see what we got. Damage bosses, the pistol, sniper rifle, and collect spin bar. Okay. Where are we on the weeklies? So you got to do it at the station. Well, drink it. Would that be the shield potion? Okay, let's just get in there. This is mostly a grinding thing. Yeah, and also made it. Let's get those first round kinks out of the way. And as you noticed, Blitz Royale is now Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle themed. So with all the mythics therein. What is going on with this? Like, one of the bits of advice I get artists and stuff like, don't get so caught up in your own style you forget what the character looks like. Like, knowing anatomy is important. Okay. And there's a point where the stylization goes a bit too far. Like somebody Kelly Jones, but no, it's horribly out of proportion. It was only based on the inking. It's like but the character composition is like that's horrible. How did you get a job? If I can ever find my portfolio and get all the goodies back so I can start working on my comic book. Yeah, of course, way on the edge here. Where are we? Oh, we're down here. Let's go ahead. Start at the far end, work our way up. Get in there, come on. Forgot to get to the goddamn window. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is the opening bit I'm trying to work out here. And it's better to work it out when no one's around me. All right. That's good. I'll run that shotgun, actually. Okay. Yeah, just get the experience points. Okay, and not quite there yet. But at least you're not going up there. As an S. You're not an S yet? Okay, this has been gone through. And actually, let's go ahead and go with that. Mm-hmm. Shit! Motherfucker. Come on. An A, of course. All right. God, I hate when it does that. Time to go, I think. rules for D&D. I think loot everything. Stop! That's gonna walk me right off a damn cliff. The cape as a glass. That's the one thing Tim Burton introduced into the mythos that is a good thing. Added other thing, and yeah, why wouldn't he have that? Where the hell? Okay, man, got time for this. I don't have time to go for that one. Nope. Okay. Anything in here I need to know about? Damn it. Come on. All right, good. Evasion is part of the game, kids. There we go.
Boo.
I do.
What are you up to? Yeah. Oh, I mean, not very high, obviously, but at least you're not gnome height.
I does what I can.
You're a little taller than a gnome.
Yeah.
So
I'm average height for medieval in the times. Okay.
Yes, but you're only medieval in your thinking, not in your era.
Mm.
Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
I only meant it.
Yeah.
That's one of my more interesting tics to me.
Yeah.
I've done that to my mom a few times after ticking things like crazy old bitch and stuff at her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just looks at me and shakes her head.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah.
To those who don't understand, it's not that easy to behave when you have these kinds of issues.
No. Kind of face the choice of,
Go ahead.
Just kind of face the choice of either, injure yourself trying to deal with it or just let it flow.
And you know how often I was sick and not functioning well when I used to suppress more.
Yeah, so it's like the healthier option is just let it go. Whoever's offended is offended. Fuck them.
It just created that whole culture of, well, you didn't used to tick like this. It's like, no, I used to tick differently. I also used to be sick a lot more often.
Yeah. You used to try and fight it, and it hurt and it physically injured you. At this point, no.
Physically injured me, emotionally injured me, stressed out my nerves and my brain, so I was getting migraines and stress pain. And suppressing Tourette's is technically possible, but it's really not good for you.
I think that also depends on how severe you have it. Yeah.
Even the most severe, you can suppress some. The amount you can suppress varies.
Yeah.
There's levels you can always suppress, but as you can tell, I'm making little gnomes. Well, average size gnomes,
okay, but the collecting of gold.
Meow.
No, of course not. God forbid it's something I can open.
Now, the biggest thing that triggers my tics is stress of any form. Stress anxiety. So if I'm in bright lights, if I'm in crowds, if I'm not feeling well and I'm sick, I'm pissed off or stressed, my eyes have been focusing on just on a screen too long, shit like that, then I tick more. And that makes things even worse.
Or more amusing, depending on your point of view.
I decided I'm really not a fan of using double-sided for diamond darts because the way I use them for ornaments and other stuff, yeah, I get why they made them double-sided, but it's not a functional technique for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So what I'm doing instead is one side has this, but I can't leave the glue like it is and the spots and everything on the backside because A, it'll look tacky as hell. B, it'll stick to everything, or it'll have that film that'll break off quickly and stick to everything. So what I did is I cleared the film and I actually painted the background down with iridescent nail polishes so it'll actually add a slight glow to the image around it. And that way it's solid and the nail polish is bonded into the glue level and it's smooth and silky and will work easier for the things I use it for. But that does add an extra step, but I don't use as many of the beads. So it's a kind of it's a mid-ground fix. But I like the effect. I like how it looks, and I like the fact that I don't have to do the entire bead pattern twice just to make one freaking ornament. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Someone's trying to do some freaky shit on me here. Hold on. And I need to vacate the premises. Okay. Okay, you two shoot it out. I'll be over here waiting for the survivors. Huh.
So.
Oh, now I hit A. Now that I can't go back and open that box.
I started this set of gnomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just doing them all at the same time, which is fun because there's 24 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through them one by one with each color in order and making sure everything's filled in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's the way I'm handling it.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm basically getting rid of most of the like really giant ornaments and stuff like that are taking up this huge space in my storage every year.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a crap ton of these little flat 2D to almost diamond art ornaments and hand painted wood ornaments and stuff that entire boxes that'll have a full tree's worth of stuff that I can theme different colors and styles in multiple styles. But the boxes will take up like an eighth the size of one of the boxes now because they'll all be these tiny little flats. And that way I can vary up my style constantly. I could switch and mix and change it out. And it won't take up as much space as standard Christmas stuff I have now. I won't get rid of all of them. I'll keep a few of my special ornaments.
Yeah.
And I'll keep the ones that are vintage family, stuff like that. But most of the simple tree ornament stuff like that, I'm just going to get rid of. I just don't see a point in it.
Get some full up on shotgun shells. And it is time to get out of here. Oh. My God. There is some fighting here. And still some fighting. Someone wants to be an asshole. Okay. Come on. We'll just keep on going here. Oh, come on. Get up, you. Shit, thing's spazzing out here.
I'm kind of a mess. I'm close to bed, so I just figured I won't have my face on camera tonight. I'll just bead.
Okay.
But I thought I'd come by and at least pick on you some.
Okay. That's why I put these invites out. Holy crap.
It's going to take me a while to do 24 gnomes, isn't it?
Yeah. Just get out of here.
That's also why I got a bunch of the diamond art coasters. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to use them as coasters. I'm going to make them, finish them, drill little partial holes into the back, pop a little system in there to attach a hook system to that's laced up and fancy.
Damn it!
And use it as tree ornaments.
This thing keeps locking up on me at the wrong damn time.
You know, I'm only here to watch you fail.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished there.
Mm. Stab your heart. Mm.
Okay, that's a new one.
Not exactly, but it's a long bleed, bitch. It's a long story. Let's just say there's an origin story to those two. That happened a few weeks ago while I was out with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's just say I don't like dumb tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch mode activated. The bleed bitch one. Bleed bitch. That freaked my mom out when it happened.
Well, that term of voice, yeah.
That's where you live. And that's because I watched Simpsons recently. Do you remember the PBS episode?
Not offhand.
Okay.
There's a lot of Simpsons I have not seen.
It was one of the earlier episodes. Homer pledged a shit ton of money to PBS purely to get them to stop the telethon and go back to his show. And got caught. But they had a whole scene of the people from the PBS shows chasing him down, trying to get money out of him, including the host of the telethon, Betty White, but also things like "It's a beautiful day to kick your ass" and shit like that. And one of the ones was literally Oscar's can opening. He starts to go at it, and then all of a sudden you see Elmo pop out and go and say that to Homer. It's like, oh dear God. Which is creepier when you know half the stuff that's been said about the voice actor.
Here we go. Well, not enough to get the next one. So.
Okay, so the current color, I'm done with 12 of the 24 with this color. That's good progress.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Let's look at the shop. What do they want us to spend their money on now?
And the thing is,
Lamborghini.
It will get easier to do this the further I go through the colors. Because eventually I'll start finishing some of them because they don't all have every color. When you get these big kits of a whole bunch of tiny things like this and they'll share a diamond art pack, they don't all use the same color. Not even close. Bleed, bitch.
Of course, the turtles are back because it's the theme for Blitz Royale this week.
I think that tick is my dark side coming out.
Yeah.
My dark side's a little bit psychotic.
You think?
Fuck off!
What the hell?
I'm not sorry. I only meant it.
That was bizarre there.
Look at it this way. The first time I ticked the bleed one there, my niece was in the car. She did not freak out at anti-ticking this. She started giggling hysterically and said she'll have to remember this next time she's playing cards with her friends.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is the one that I found out has been playing Cards Against Humanity in her sleepover since she was 12.
Hmm.
So basically Auntie's girl, right?
Yeah.
And she is a lot like her auntie when it comes to the dark, twisted sense of humor. And the nature girl and the weird, goofy obsessions. And actually a lot like me, period.
Yeah.
And she is the only person who ever got me to actually do a photography session with a human. I don't do that. I work with nature because I like nature. And humans are bitches. Fuck off. That times 1,000. It was an agreement we made because she was on track for the early graduation. We've had the discussions of trying to cheat her out of that.
Yeah.
So I told her if she managed to graduate early or get all the criteria to graduate early, I would do a free session of nature photography graduation photos with her throughout the mountains where she grew up spending time with grandma.
Oh, okay.
That apparently really lit a fire under her butt, and she did. I came to visit my mom to be there to help with her graduation last year, and she went, Auntie, why are you here? And like, I know I have to take you out. So I took her, and I took her on a loop for 10 hours through the mountains at over 20 locations of her favorite hangouts growing up. And did a photo set at each one. I got some great photos out of her by making really embarrassing, mean comments, including when I had her posed on this bridge over the river, getting her to laugh when I told her to picture the gnome falling into the 2 inches of water and not swim out. By the way, she does know Lydian. She laughed so hard. I took pictures of her laughing. I mean, I made jokes about her dad being too stoned to walk down the hallway, got her to laugh, took pictures of it, you know? Basically, I played on her having a twisted sense of humor like Auntie, and also her indignant teenager act she does sometimes to get her to give me the facial poses I wanted. And then when I was trying to get her to lean up against the tree and do the little classic pose, the ethereal little hug up against the tree with your arms on it kind of thing.
Yeah, I got the same picture of my grad.
I wanted it with her because it's a good one for her look and her nature side and the native stuff and all that. She was not following the directions well. So I just told her to hug the tree like it was her favorite crushes and then snap the picture of her indignant look. By the way, Auntie's got an evil sense of humor.
Okay, just need to survive 120 seconds in a named location.
There, and this is what Auntie's like, and yet I call her up and go, "Hey, do you want me to pick you up for a few hours?" And she's squealing and going, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up!"
Okay, this could be
She's
a problem.
so offended at Auntie teasing her, right?
Yeah.
She's so bullied, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I tease everybody, and yet you go to my family, I'm the favorite auntie. I'm the tribal auntie to all of them. Wow. Fuck off. I was like, maybe it's because they actually have a sense of humor and they're not pussies about it. Or maybe it's because we're a tribal family. We all tend to give each other shit anyways.
Yeah. There we go. Actually, I need to blow somebody away with a pistol anyway. So.
Sparkle, sparkle.
Whoops.
So I was trying to figure out why I'm shaking the tray. It knocks all the beads the correct way up so they're easier to place. It is a weird way to do it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot faster than trying to do it manually.
Yeah. Okay, need to find somebody to shoot, but nobody ever runs away.
That sounds like a porn star's problem.
Hmm.
I need somebody to shoot. I mean,
There you are. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You can do it.
Oddly positive.
No, I watched The Waterboy the other night.
Ah.
That keeps ticking every time I think about the "you can do it." Cut his fucking head off.
So a little Rob Schneider thinking in there. Yeah.
It's not so positive when you think of it that way, is it?
Never heard the other thing because I never seen The Waterboy. So you can do it.
It's really actually, you would think, offensive to people like me with my mental issues, but no, I find it hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you haven't seen it.
Adam Sandler's kind of hot or cold to me. It's like, yeah.
I would rank that my top movies from him definitely include Mr. Deeds, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and The Waterboy.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of them that it's like, what the fuck? What drugs was he on when he wrote this? Like, Don't Mess with the Zohan, Little Nicky, and shit like that.
Yeah.
So there's like, I'm conflicted depending on which movie.
There's that one he did with I forget the name of it. Basically, the remote control where you can speed up or skip through parts of life that are a little tedious.
Click wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, that
it actually had a deep philosophical.
Yeah, got surprisingly deep there. So
I do like the gesturing the wife's new boyfriend down to him as he's dying. Flips him off. No. It goes back to the actual serious moment. Holy shit, that's dark. Like, I'm laying here in the gutter dying. Let me flip you off one last time, damn it. Right?
The last great act of defiance. Okay, here's a pigeon.
Click was surprisingly deep and philosophical.
Yeah.
Bedtime Stories was mediocre but charming for more of a family-friendly one. Like I said, he's got some I absolutely find abhorrently stupid. Some where the stupid, I think, is part of the appeal of them. And some where it's just, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But there's also there are some mediocre movies and some that are decent. I don't think he's a consistent hit for me. I also would consider Wedding Singer my favorites of his.
Yeah.
I could see that movie getting canceled now for all the jokes they made with Boy George in it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Boy George is kind of showing some bit of a twat waffle lately.
I'm not saying he hasn't, but they definitely played heavily on the cross-dressing, making fun of his feminine behavior and shit like that throughout that movie, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
In respect.
Yeah, the tide is turning on that, and it's getting faster. It was, mentioned earlier how the
again, I have nothing against legitimate cases. I've went through years of fucking dysphoria.
Yeah.
I should actually support it, right?
Yeah.
And I have nothing against people who really are really suffering and really they got no other way mentally or physically than trying to do the changes. Look, I have empathy for those cases.
Buck Angel's following me now, okay? So I was like
have you seen the teardowns that Buck Angel and Blair White have done on Lily Tino?
Oh God, yeah.
Their videos on it are very epic.
Oh God, yeah.
Now look, you look at either of them, and it's very obvious they had a lot of characteristics to begin with that pushed them the other direction.
Yeah.
I think they have some of the physical aspects.
Yeah.
I also have a respect for them. I don't have any problem with them.
Yeah. Marcus Deeb is another one. It's like what I would like to see is the mental, health situation where this would no longer be necessary.
I hate to claim that it's not a mental health issue. Believe me, if somebody went through dysphoria, it is a mental health condition. It doesn't mean that they can't have physical treatments depending on severity and other symptoms. But to deny that this is mental health is, I think, actually a disservice and makes it harder for help to be reached for some of us.
No, yeah, because the like Buck and Blair, they'll pretty this is a mental disorder. This is how extreme it's gotten to. This is what we have to do to live with this.
Well, I'm sorry if you hate your own skin.
Yeah.
So much that you're willing to destroy your health to change it or try to, get rid of yourself because you hate it.
Yeah.
Which the self-harm rate, the self-deletion rate, along with the just absolute hatred and other stuff that come with it. That's absolutely mental health.
I mean, it's not going to be a short shriek to do all this over a personality quirk. I mean, if that's not a mental disorder, I don't know what is. Okay.
And the thing is, I know a lot of us who've been through Candace juice.
Yeah.
A lot of us who've been through the dysphoria who really, really hate that they're removing it from the mental health issues. And a lot of people who are going through it now who don't understand the harm that can actually do.
Yeah. And affirming it is, you're not being kind.
Like I said, there are cases where there's medical issues behind it for severe ones.
Yeah.
There's places where if it's literally last resort and the person literally doesn't want to live with it.
Yeah.
There are places where I'm not against the sex change stuff. And again, I would say that I would consider Blair White, Buck Angel to be in those cases.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they did the changes they did.
Something that Blair pointed out one time, and then trying to say, those people hate you. One, the only real exception she's gotten is from the right. And plus, he's never been misgendered. They never called is hardcore against the trend thing. Never been called by these. Because pronouns are a subconscious thing.
Plenty of people say really bigoted things about her from left and right in the comments, but the people that actually go to the level of sending harassing messages and shit like that tend to be the left.
Yeah.
And I've seen stuff from where, it's okay. Yeah, I do get threats from both sides. There are extremists on both sides, but it's far more often from the left. again, it's okay to acknowledge that. And look, I don't agree with everything the anti-movement is doing either. Mm-hmm. And I think there's levels that some of them are taking that are scary.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to support the shit that's being pushed where we're supposed to not have concerns for our safety as women about having men around us.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want men in the bathroom with you, then you must be no. Or how many people have literally claimed that I'm saying that these people shouldn't have bathroom access if I point out the safety issues and how we shouldn't have these open bathroom styles that we have now anyways. Or being told that it's hateful to say, we shouldn't have public sink areas connected to the stalls. We should have small little stalls with a sink in it. Mm-hmm. Because nobody who's going through like cystic issues or severe periods or cramp out, stuff like that, or people who are having to change and wring out and wash out period panties to put them into a purse or stuff, should have to do that in a public sink in front of people.
Yeah.
That's humiliating.
And again, speaking very generally here, allowing for, there are certain cases where a male transition is doing it as a trauma response or something, but the vast majority of it, like from the male to female, it's predatory. They want to, come in and conquer new territory. From the female side, it's a trauma response.
We can't deal with this unless we deal with the fact that a lot of the time that when you find the dysphoria in people before puberty, it usually has to do with SA. Mm-hmm. It usually, majority of the time, has been triggered by some very traumatic thing that's made them hate their own body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not to say there are not kids who genuinely have mental health issues, dysphoria, or other stuff.
Yeah.
But there's usually a secondary cause for most cases at that age.
Yeah.
Which is why let's mutilate your body instead of let's find out what's made you hate yourself this much.
Yeah.
They don't treat it the same way they treat EDs or other things, which are also dysphorias.
Yeah.
One's considered mental health, one isn't. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And also, considering something a dysphoria does not mean that you're against people in it or that you don't want them to get certain forms of help.
That's recognizing something's wrong. How about we deal with that? Yeah, because they're not teaching language properly. You know what dysphoria means? It means something, feeling that's not right. Okay. The disease, dis-ease. You're not at ease. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the fact that the autism moms group have started bitching at me on threads.
And we're progressing on this one here. Okay, been about an hour here, and it doesn't look like anybody's coming on to play with me. So, I'm going to pull it.
The game or just the stream?
The game, because the discussions get more interesting. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It just literally had a post pull up to me, which is dealing with one of the common comments going all over Facebook threads in those right now is just all these people going that autists need to stop hyper fixating on small details and arguing about them. It's like, that's literally part of the DSM-5.
That is what autism is.
That's fucking part of what our issue is our brains hyper fixate. That's actually part of the criteria for being diagnosed.
It's like Trekkies need to stop being so fixated on Star Trek. Did you not get the definition?
I'm sitting there going, wait, what the fuck are you idiots saying?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess you can see a little more what I'm doing with the gnomes now.
Yeah.
Most of them are over here while they're in between the stages. But they come over here as I'm beating.
Over here.
Seeing somebody literally saying, "Yeah, I just need to stop hyperfixating." It's like I'm gonna hyperfixate on that dumbass comment for a while.
God.
You dumb fuck. We hyperfixate. Do you know what a special interest is? It's hyperfixating on something we like me having a whole bunch of gnomes, or obsessing over having hundreds of stuffed animals, or all of my tons of little Lego flowers that I have all over little mini vases and succulent things and stuff on my shelf here, or my fixation with collecting rocks that's so bad that I'm having to make a rock garden outside to store them all in. Do you fucking know what autism is? A little clue: if you say autists shouldn't hyperfixate, you don't know what autism is.
No. Let's hold that one up.
The autism mom's going, well, why shouldn't I speak for my kid? They can't speak for me. It's like you realize that level 3 autism is like 5%-ish about people with autism.
Yeah.
And these are the ones who keep going, it never should have been combined together. People who don't have level 3 should be considered autistic. Only ones like my kid. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It's a broad category. Guess what? You're going to get,
Guess what? The fact that our symptoms are not as severe as your kid does not make it a different condition. That's like somebody going, you shouldn't be diagnosed with cancer. You're only stage 1. No, how about
I'm saying just because my left side is not shriveled up like a concentration doesn't mean I don't have pinched nerves, okay? They're not as severely pinched as some, but they're still a little pinched there, and it's causing me problems.
Just because most people that have forms of epilepsy do not have the rare and intrusive and psychotic seizures that I did as a kid, doesn't mean they don't have fucking epilepsy.
Not everyone does grand mal seizures, flopping on the floor like a tuna.
Grand mal was playing gentle compared to what I went through.
Oy.
I will say it this way. The version that I was diagnosed with and went through as a child has had only just over 70 diagnosed cases in the U.S. ever.
Yikes.
And
special.
It literally burned holes in my brain. It overheated my brain so much when I had seizures.
Yeah.
They basically the way my neurologist as a child described it to me is basically if you took epilepsy and combined it with ADHD and muscular dystrophy. Because there's all this nerve and muscle issues combined with this one that aren't to most forms of epilepsy. And the reason your brain overloads and has the seizures is because it's literally running so fast it actually starts overheating physically and burning itself.
But you're a neurological train wreck.
Literally, my brain was working so fast it was overheating like a computer.
And the fan went out.
Which means, unlike the others where you usually either just collapse or go right into grand mal seizure, this one had an uncommon middle stage. This freaked my brother out the first time this happened in front of somebody. While my mom was trying to get them to diagnose me because she was sure I was having the seizures. And then it happened clearing the table. I was very little. Ow! And I was moving the stack of plates from the table to the sink after breakfast because there was no such thing as you're too little to help with the chores in mom's house. There was get to work. Once we were big enough to walk across the room, we were helping. So there was that. So
you can walk, you can carry something.
I was the tough girl. I always had to help with things way more than I should for my age. That was normal. Clearing the table with my brother, and all of a sudden, as he described it, I froze in place with one foot in the air like a statue.
Oh.
And wouldn't respond. So he comes over, Rosetta, and he's shaking his hands in front of me, and I'm not even blinking. My eyes are stuck open. This is, by the way, the middle stage of this form of epilepsy. Now, this is because all of the muscles locked. All the muscles and nerves locked in place because the brain overloaded. Then he touched me. and the entire system went haywire. I hit the floor and started into full convulsions.
Oy.
At which point he went screaming out the door for mom. Which, fair, honestly. I was only he was about 10 years old at this time.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 10, how would you feel if you saw your 3-year-old sister collapse like that?
I think I'd freak out, yeah.
So there was that.
Mm-hmm.
And that seizure was severe enough.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a very small town in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
In order for them to get an ambulance to us to try to treat me, it was about 45 minutes for the ambulance to get us and about 45 minutes back to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
By time mom got in there and my dad was already working on getting me calmed down in the seizure so I wouldn't hurt myself, he realized something was wrong when my brother went running by him screaming. They got the ambulance got there in about 50 minutes, which really, considering everything, was not that horrible at that time of day.
Yeah.
And they got me to the hospital, and I'd been in the hospital with the doctors going over me trying to figure things out for a while before I woke up.
Yeah.
They actually said it was borderline a full coma at that point because I literally was falling into coma territory. So you remember in the 80s, a lot of these medical tables when they were doing examinations were literally like metal tables.
Yeah.
So these high metal tables under the sun. It's like you're in a vet clinic now.
Yeah.
They're putting a metal exam table.
Padding? What padding? No.
Warmth? What warmth? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's the same table they have an autopsy. So, yeah.
So this is what I knew. This seizure fried enough of what was going on at the time. I cannot remember any of this stuff up to this point. This is all things that have been described to me in detail from the people that took care of me through it. My first actual memory that I have was waking in the hospital from the seizure. So the first thing I can remember happening in my little head is laying on my back on a hard, cold metal table with my eyes staring into a bright light while my head feels like it's on fire. It actually was. I had 5 holes burning in my brain at the time. My entire body's in screaming agony. My muscles are throbbing violently, and I'm surrounded by people I don't fucking know and can't find my parents.
Yeah.
That's my first memory. You want to talk about some childhood trauma?
Yeah, that ranks up there. I'm gonna get me some water.
That'll fuck your head.
Yeah. I'll be back in a bit.
So yeah. To anybody who may still be watching out there, your girl's fucked up. Anyway, that color is done. Yes, there's a lot of scars on my body for a lot of reasons. So. Kitty. Oh. That was a great uncoordinated moment. So when I try to explain to people just how crazy things have been in my life, and they always go, oh, no, it can't be that serious. It's like, it really can, actually. So it's like, yeah, I'm a freak. I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Oh, no.
Okay, back.
I don't know if I'd actually talked to you much about my seizure history before.
Not a lot. I've heard a few things here and there.
So basically, the form that I had was extremely severe and very often fatal.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that aren't usually killed by it, there's a really, really high percentage of them who will actually take on so much brain scars and so much brain damage that in order to keep them alive, they have to have basically a medical lobotomy.
Mm.
So the amount of people who survive to adulthood with these seizures and maintain ability to function as a semi-normal person are extremely few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of them, as was my dad. Yay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this gives you a little concept of what childhood was like for me and dealing with neurologists, which is why when I started dealing with these neurologists now and they're telling me stuff, it's like, I know better. I spent half of my childhood with specialists who were giving me all kinds of information on medical studies on this shit and how neurology works. Which is also why when people tell me, well, that's not how these conditions work, it's like, do I believe you or the team of specialists that have kept me alive since I was 3 years old?
Yeah.
Decisions, right?
Yeah.
So
something just came across here.
Yes, Juice.
I'm going to post this in the memes thread.
Up your anus. I'll look in a minute, as you can kind of tell. Even doing the diamond art, I'm struggling not to tick too much tonight, which should tell you something. You know me well enough to know that this stuff usually calms down my tics.
Yeah. The thing about this one, it's not just a picture, though. It's who posted it.
Okay, let's see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
But it's not just thinking about it, it's also the details.
Yeah, that whole thing's terrible. Oh
yeah.
my The fact that you like that says something about you.
In fact, let me go ahead and share with the class here.
Have fun with that.
Well,
why did I miss the entire section with that color? Idiot.
Turn that down. Yeah.
I was doing too much stuff at once and whole section. So I have to go back on one of them and fill it in.
Yeah.
But first I'm going to finish the current color, so I don't have to backtrack over and over.
It's not just a Superman is straining to do one. It's like he's, got to pull down. He's wearing Batman underwear. Under all that. And the Marvel Funko Pops on the shelf. There's a nice touch too.
Yeah, I'm not as big on the hating on Funko as a lot of people are. I do think they're over the top and over popularized, but they're very basically very related to basically a almost cross between bobblehead and chibi, and neither of those I'm not opposed to. So it's like I actually kind of like some of them.
Also, Crypto down here in the corner. Right here, they got Crypto right. Okay, the movie, no, I'm still on the thing. I don't like the way they did the suit. I don't like they miscast Crypto.
Wow. You eat penis.
The fact that Dean came, but I'm framing that. Oh.
Now I gotta fix this because I missed the whole section on one of them. I got distracted when I was moving things around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. No dropping gnomes. They're too little. They'll get lost in the floor. That goes for the living one, too.
Yeah. It's a holler drop for them.
Uh-huh.
Now, granted, there's less mass, so there's less impact, so it doesn't hurt them as bad. But still, it's not pleasant.
I don't know if I'll ever get over the fact that I got to finally spend time with him in person.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the first thing that came out of my lips was ticking, "Wow, you're tiny." That poor gnome. That poor gnome.
Mm. Damn it.
That was my husband letting me know that I had to take care of some medical stuff here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have to go for a while.
All right. Well, I'll probably just wrap it up at that point then. So.
I wanted to torture you for longer. We need to have a hangout where we're not streaming for a while, where we can just sit back for hours and watch irreverent bullshit. I can share some anime with you and we can watch some comedy shit.
Yeah.
Because we need an irreverent, fucked up day.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely need it.
It's a busy time, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're still scrambling to get out of the current ditch. Yeah. Because we're,
Do the ditch, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trigger my traffic ticks. We're gonna die.
It's just
first, hoe.
Bill's hitting at the wrong damn time and other things. Like, what the hell?
Could you try to let Burnett know that I do want to get a hold of him and do the stream we were talking about a long time ago? But I don't know if he follows me, and I have things locked to followers only private because of the issues with people.
He's just too damn busy.
Yeah, but I'm sure one of us could find a way to make the time happen if we could actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's like neither of us has any time anymore, do we?
Yeah. I throw anything. Look, name a time. Come on. I can throw up whenever. And frequently do.
All right, I will be back to finish the gnomes later. I will talk to you in a bit. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. There are things, honestly.
All right.
Fuck off. Bye.
All right. We're going to wrap it there, I think, because it's past late and we got stuff doing tomorrow that I really should get some sleep for. So, let's clear some stuff out of the way here. And we'll talk at you later, kids.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Well, the man is ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang up. Whenever there's a hang up, you'll find